Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. And I'd like you to start stamping with me. So come on, stamp the ground. Can you feel it? Can you feel how hard it is? I mean, and now imagine a healthy orange tree growing on that type of hard soil. I cannot. And 100 years ago, there were many nutrients in our food. What our grandparents ate was healthier than what we eat today. Our landscapes are drying up. Sick soil, hard as rock, just like the ground you just stamped on with your feet. So sick soil makes people sick because food quality drops, farmers' income drops, and many lose their homes, right? So what we do at betterSoil is we have scientific people that work with 4 principles. It's treatment of soil, agroforestry, biochar, and compost. And we combine newest research with indigenous knowledge. And soil is as hungry as we are, so we need to take care of the soil and feed them like we feed our own bodies. So this is why we collect bio-waste and we produce our betterSoil booster, which is the superfood for healthy soils. And this is how it works in Iran. And it actually does work. If the slides work, we can see that last year we treated pistachio trees in Iran with our betterSoil booster, and already after 6 months, their leaves were bigger, stronger, and greener. And this is the proof of concept on the business model we build our activities on. At betterSoil, we are 16 people from 5 nations with professional experience in soil sciences, in sustainable agriculture, in marketing, in economics, and in digital solutions. And our vision is to increase farmers' income, to have a healthy planet, and to have healthy food in the end. And this is my question to you. So how do you relate to soil, right? I mean, we dig it, and I want to invite you to dig it with us, and with your stories on newspapers, on television, and in social media, when we can create awareness for the important topic. And if you finance our startups in Malawi, Kenya, and in Iran, we can produce more betterSoil booster. We can employ more people to work with farmers on the ground to increase soil quality, healthy nutrition, biodiversity, and have a huge climate impact. So join us, dig it with us. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, right on time. Well done. And thank you very much. You can hand it to the volunteers. Up next is Timur Sirman of MAGNOTHERM, who uses the magnocaloric effect to cool without the harmful coolants. And how that's going to work, he's going to tell us. 3 minutes.
So, hi. I will talk about cooling and how this relates to the food system, actually. The thing is that currently we have a cooling technology that is 150 years old. And it is very climate damaging. Actually, the more we cool, the more we warm the planet. And it is due to the fact that this current technology is based on refrigerant gases that you need to compress and expand. And those gases used to be HCFCs. Now there are other chemicals currently in the phase out, and we are going back to the original natural refrigerants, which are explosive or toxic. We are breaking this cycle with a completely new approach to refrigeration. Instead of gases, we have a metal. And this metal gets hot and cold with changing magnetic fields, which sounds like science fiction, but actually just science. We're a university spin-off from a technical university in Darmstadt, Germany. And with this metal and this new approach, we can actually increase the energy efficiency not only a bit, but by 40%. And since it's a metal, we don't have a direct global warming potential. The gas, the refrigerant gas currently used leaks into the atmosphere. We have a metal, it's a solid state material, it cannot leak. So we could recycle it also in 100 or 1,000 years. And lastly, technical advantage, we're using water in order to move the heat, which is a low pressure system, easier and cheaper to maintain. Connecting to food, our first market is going into supermarkets, into commercial cooling, where we deploy this technology in order to finish up the supply chain of the food and bring down the energy that we're using for supermarkets, which accounts to 1 to 2% in nations like France, Germany, and so on. We can also bring this technology to ultra-low temperature levels in order to liquefy hydrogen. There we are currently building the first demonstration device in Europe. And we already have the technology here. So we have a stand here. You can see the first commercial magnetic beverage cooler in the world, and you can experience here, and of course you can also rent it and buy it. And in the development, we will now bring this to the supermarkets in pilot partnerships. So join our journey, either as an intern or as an employee, as a promotional partner, to bring this technology really out there and make it visible. Or also on the production side, we are always looking for good companies helping us to advance. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Isn't it fascinating what the human mind can come up with? I'm excited and wish you all the best. Now, next up is Martin Driscoll of Atlantic Power and Infrastructure. Your time to shine.
Okay, the best way to stop a fire is to catch it when it starts. 70% of all forest fires and wildfires that we know of are on agricultural land. So our approach is to provide a fire retardant that farmers use to actually improve the quality of their crops. How to move this on? Okay. The three things that a fire needs: heat, oxygen, and fuel. Now, water is used to reduce the heat, and APP fire retardants, like fertilizer-based fire retardants, are used to asphyxiate the fire by cutting out the oxygen. They also kill every creature living around it as well. And then after the fire, you get this algae blooms in the watercourses, which then has to be cleaned up afterwards because of these fire retardants. We've gone about a completely different way. Ever had a barbecue and tried to burn some green leaves? Doesn't happen. So we've created, let's go move on from that. We created a silicon-based product, and all our products are from plants for plants. So it's a plant-based material. We actually draw the silicon from straw that would otherwise be burnt to create smog in cities in India. So this silicon, plus the minerals we add to it, acts as a coating on the plant. It improves the crop health. It improves the water retention of the plant by cutting water loss from the plant, transpiration, by up to 40%. It actually also acts as a barrier against sucking insects and fungi. So you've got an organic way of actually protecting your crop, improving crop quality, and when the fire comes, it can't burn it. It biodegrades for about 2 weeks. So what farmers would normally do is, if they see a fire, they would actually give an extra coating on their crop. They don't have to plough up a fire break, they just spray it again. That fire will not pass. Green leaves don't burn. That's a quick pitch, but that's where we are. It's a very simple process. It's very cheap for farmers, and you can drop it from planes, and we're now looking at investment to actually get this out into big trials and working with governments and institutions. Fires are killing people. They're killing the population's ability to actually feed itself, and the amount of smoke that's being produced from these fires, the carbon going up, is killing the planet. I think we've got a very good solution here. We just need partners. That's it.
Wonderful. As easy as that.
As easy as that.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. And I wish you all the best. Next up is Eugene Wang from Sophie's BioNutrients. Nutrients.
Hi everyone. If you're expecting a beautiful young lady, sorry to disappoint you. Sophie's my daughter. She's allergic to shellfish. That's how I started my journey. I was looking for a way for people to get the nutrients from the ocean. Turns out this is a much bigger opportunity than what I can expect it. Well, the whole world is moving towards plant-based. Very clear. But then the question we pose as a team to the world is that, are the plant-based protein in the market today really that sustainable? Really the silver bullet that we're looking for? Looking at all the problems we're listing right here. We just don't see it that way. And that's why we think there must be something else. that it can be more sustainable. And this market research report also helped confirm that. We are developing a fermentation technology using microalgae. We have a few strains that can grow in dark in fermentation style, and they're really sturdy. You can use a lot of different kind of industrial size strain to grow it. And after that, we isolate the protein. The finished product is like the one you saw on the lower right-hand corner. It's wonderful color, wonderful flavor protein flour that you can use in different ways. And so using fermentation to grow microalgae, there are so many benefits. Well, first about fermentation, as a lot of people know, it saves a lot of time, a lot of land space, a lot of fresh water as well. And that means on a per unit basis, it saves a lot of energy. Better yet, we're talking about microalgae. It has a lot of wonderful nutritional benefits. All the essential amino acids needed by the human being, lots of vitamin B, which is so lacking in the plant-based protein today, not to mention iron. And this will not be just another super sustainable protein. It will be another super nutritious protein, doesn't come with known allergen. One feature of our technology, we use industrial size strain to grow our protein for less footprint and more circular economy. Our product roadmap, we're gonna design a protein flour that you can use to make different kinds of plant-based food applications. We got a lot of IPs, 10 provisional patents filed in US and EU, 2 design patents on our bioreactors. Revenue model, we're going to be B2B food ingredient sales, our go-to-market strategy. Currently, we're doing a lot of customization to win over customers. We started out in Singapore. We just moved to the Netherlands in 2021 because all the customers are based out of here, surprisingly, and all the technology supporters are also here. My team, still very Asia, sorry to say, but we're hoping to expand in Europe and recruit more people here in Europe. Decoupling the protein supply from our terrestrial land is our mission. Hope you like it and enjoy our mission. Thank you.
Wow. Wonderful. You can actually stay with me because we are going to ask all the other changemakers to come back up on stage for a little round of question and answers. And with this, I would love to hand over to the jury. We have about 7 to 8 minutes for a couple of questions and some networking opportunity after the session. And there is microphones in front of you. Just pick them up whenever you have something to ask to these wonderful changemakers, and off we go. Who's going to start us off?
Yeah, I can.
Please.
It'd be interesting to hear just in 30 seconds from everyone what the main challenge that you're facing is. What's your main challenge at the moment?
1 sentence each.
Change. That's the main challenge at the moment, is changing people's perception of how you do things. And you've got an organization already out there that's looking to maintain what it's doing.
We are developing a deep technology, so further developing this, and we are developing not only the machine but also the fundamental material, getting this in mass production, really coordinating with all the supply chain partners. This really keeps us busy.
As the world population is growing and land is degrading, we are facing problems how to scale over the next 10 years such that we reach the scale that we need to work with people that are entrenched in their regular farming habits.
I think with all new innovation, people are always standing in the way to interfere and stop the innovation. People's ignorance, people's afraid of something, people's stubbornness is really the roadblock for a lot of innovation, and that's what we found out.
Thank you. Other questions? Yeah?
Hi, everyone. I just had a question, probably for Polaris, about how do you intend to work around the sustainability of their metal value chain?
Very good question. We are using a permanent magnet as a magnetic field source, but we can use actually recycled material. Low quality permanent magnet material coming from electric vehicles or MRI scanners or wind turbines. So we have already the proof of concept, and now the problem again is supply chain. Where do you get the material from? So this is the one side, and then the base material is also mainly based on iron, and it's produced in Germany.
Also a question for you, in terms of price points, how do you compare with a normal cooler, and how do you see that evolving in the future?
Well, the beverage cooler, it's the world's first magnetic fridge, which will change the world, so it's accordingly pricey. But for the supermarkets, we will not sell it, we will actually rent it out and reduce the total cost of ownership over the higher energy efficiency. So it is more expensive if you would buy it, but it has a return on invest after 3-4 years, depends on the location.
Interesting, thank you.
Yeah.
One question for each of you. Could you describe in one sentence your mission, your purpose?
For us, it's to do things ethically and eco-friendly with no damage behind. So we can put out fires without having to be cleaned up afterwards.
This technology, what we are developing, it's not a new technology. Others have tried to do it. So our mission really is to bring it to market now, to make this technology available and find the best route into the market. And this is supermarkets as we see it, and make this technology available for clean and sustainable refrigeration in the future.
From the gravitational point of soils, we tackle all sorts of sustainable development goals around the world for healthy nutrition, healthy planet, biodiversity, and climate effects.
Our mission is actually on our last slide, decoupling the protein supply from arable land so that we don't have to waste more footprint, waste all the Goldilocks zone that's getting scarcer and scarcer because of the global warming. Thank you.
Very clear. Thank you. More questions? Yeah, sure. We have a few more minutes.
Just on the refrigeration again, you mentioned refrigeration in food production and in supermarkets. I wondered whether it had applications in terms of trucking, industrial processes, healthcare, other applications that need concentrated refrigeration.
So from the technology point of view, we have 3 billion refrigeration systems, or even more, numbers from 2018 in use, and they almost all rely on gas compression. We can substitute all of this, but from a business model, we go to supermarkets first. There we can achieve the total cost of ownership, which are lower, but we can also go to server cooling, very interesting, electronics cooling, air conditioning, which is a huge market. Also in the lower temperature areas, many applications. There's always the question: does it make sense to go in this sector?
Any more questions? Maybe over here.
So I have a question from you. How did you get the idea, the eureka moment, and you decide to drive a business from this?
I got the idea from 70% of land destroyed by fires every year is agricultural. And as an agricultural biologist, that was my first priority. I wanted to protect the farmer's income. I wanted to protect the livelihoods of people. And in a way, they're using a product themselves. Then if the fire happens, they can put it out before the fire brigade gets there.
So I'm an industrial engineer and studied management. And my co-founder, he is the scientist. And I know him through my brother, actually. They studied together. And he was doing his PhD at the university, where together with my other co-founders, they have conducted 20 years of research on this technology, and we had a final solution to make this technology available with stabilizing this material in this water environment. And based on this patent, we sat together and said, okay, maybe there's a business opportunity. Let's try to get some money, and then that was 5 years ago.
Let's do it. Great.
So betterSoil was invented out of frustration, actually. My co-founder Azadeh Farajpour, who you will see on the Women for Change stage later, she went around many conferences, studied sustainable international agriculture, and everybody said, yeah, well, we have this problem, that problem. Soil is important, but the stakeholders were not connected. Nobody knew what to do. Everything was in place. We just needed to apply it. And my background is in sustainability for more than 10 years. I'm a physicist and a PhD in economics. And so we said, let's see how we can know, how we can put all into practice what we know already and simply start raising awareness on the one hand side, and on the other hand, working on the ground, really improving soil and show people how easy it is actually if you do it.
So my eureka moment is very easy. Starts from my family, my daughter. So food is actually a very family thing as well. So I guess I'm lucky to have that eureka moment just right from my daughter. Thanks.
Wonderful. And we are unfortunately at the end of this round of questions, but there will be the chance to network in the networking area after the next couple of pitches. So I hope that's okay to refer you to that. All right, thank you so much. Please put your hands together for these wonderful change makers. And I wish you all the success that you could possibly have for the sake of all of us. Thank you.